process works both ways. We can share what we've been doing past 130 years, and in return there will be something very interesting that's happening in your organizations. So it can be a very good exchange. So I love this opportunity, and very happy to be here. But quickly, if I could know about participants, so that I can connect much quickly. But before that, I think so. You could like this one.
Sure. Sorry, only, right?
Yeah. You have one?
I'll organize.
Okay, no problem. So very quickly, if I could know a little bit about you, so that which company, primarily everybody is from human resource, right?
Yes.
Is that the correct assumption you have? Okay. So which company and how many years been into? So that I'll be careful, before saying anything. Sure.
I am Anirudh Khekhale.
Yeah.
Presently, I am working in NSPCL, which is a joint venture of NTPC in SAIL. And before joining NSPCL, I was in NHPC for 8 years.
Sure. Great.
I'm Thomas Abraham. I work for a company called Tejo Engineering, which is into bulk material handling, mainly servicing conveyor belts.
Sure.
And I joined the company in 2008. Prior to that, I was with a company called India Cements Capital, which is more into funding prospects, a finance company.
Great.
So all put together around 16 to 17 years of experience. But I was in general administration for quite a long time.
Sure.
In the year 2000, I moved into HR.
Right. Great. Sure.
I'm Veena Krishnan, and I'm the psychologist here in this campus, UPES itself.
Very good.
An extended
That's
arm of HR sometimes.
That's the purpose of this introduction, so you are very careful before saying anything. Great. Thank you very much.
I'm Anirudh Khekhale. I'm the manager HR at UPES, and I've been with UPES for the past 3 years now.
Sure.
And I have about 12 years of experience all in the HR.
Perfect.
I am Sheetal Khanka, and I am a faculty in HR and Business Communication with the university for 3 years now. I have 9 years of work experience.
Sure.
Looking forward to your deliberations. Thank you.
Sure. So,
Hi, I'm Palash Banji. I work for a company named Kyling, and I have a total work experience of around 12 years now.
right. Sure.
All along in HR.
Perfect.
That's about me. So I'm looking forward to your
Sure.
session.
Good afternoon, I'm Rana Vikram Singh. I'm the campus manager here in the university. Having a background in sales, marketing and business development, but liking towards HR.
Oh, wonderful. Great.
I'm Anirudh Khekhale. I joined Engineers India Limited in 2008.
Okay.
I'm working as HR officer there.
Yeah, it was Mr. Mahajan, right?
Yes.
So I met him we had rolled out a talent quiz contest. So Mr. Mahajan was there when we had agreed to come for the final evaluation of the presentation. We have a very close interaction with you as a company. We met already, so both of us, we met, so I don't need any separate introduction from you. But yeah, idea was to quickly know which companies, which background you all carry. That is one. So fairly, if I have idea about those companies or I have heard something, I can. Another thing is, in terms of experience, is primarily to know that what kind of diversity we have in the group, and be careful about this. Great. So I'm Anirudh. I represent Emerson. Although I joined this company only about a year back, but to be very honest with you, this is the company which I really like in terms of its overall maturity in managing the business and managing the functions like human resource, and very consistent on philosophies for last 130 years. Very successful company. So I thought this experience from which I really learned can be shared with you. So that's the purpose. I was always wondering about this, term strategic human resource. And in 2004, I attended my first 10-day long, strategic human resource management program with NHR. And then after doing the 10 days long program, I was still wondering that what does it really mean? 10-day long program, morning 6 a.m. to 10:30 in the night, and all sort of faculties, industry experts coming. But then, as I progressed with some of these best managed companies like Cummins, Danaher, and now Emerson, I think then I started seeing a little bit of strategic human resource and what does it really mean. My personal discovery has been it's very, very simple. It's very, very down to earth. It's not complicated at all. It's not as complicated as it is shown in the books, right? Or is being presented in the manner. It's very, very simple, very, very down to earth. It's all about doing the stuff, the way you do it. But only thing is, becoming more aware about why are you doing it. So that's the. And I can quickly take you through how Emerson does it. This presentation is mainly, about Emerson management process. Emerson has a very, very matured management process. In the past 60 years, they are following this, very structured process. Prior to that, they were doing it, but this entire thing got formalized about 50, 60 years ago. And how they link business, people, and performance together. And what's Emerson's organization planning process? I think that's relevant to human resource, and that's the key strategic process for us. Right? So I will be talking about that, and then finally, how do you really link it to the results? Whether do you see those kind of results or not? So, quick question: what successful companies really do? I mean, I'm sure all of you must have read these books, heard about these books, or whatever. But essentially, every book except this one, you may not have seen this book, which is okay. But all other books, what do they really talk about? And you will find Emerson reference in those books as well. But essentially, what do they really talk about?
I think they basically talk about having the right people on board.
Having the right people, okay.
That's what I found across.
I think one thing which most of the people are talking about is in these books, empowering people at the lower level,
okay,
and making sure that they integrate and they understand. So instead of just handing out the things to them,
right,
helping them to buy what you are saying, or helping them to align their personal aspirations, goal, emotion with the organization.
Precisely.
That is what the basic thing is.
Precisely. And at a very higher level, this is being called as purpose.
Yes.
Linking everybody within your organization to the purpose that you have.
Yes.
So primarily purpose. And there are two key essential elements, that these companies, they do very, very well. The second element is planning, and the third element is execution. All of us know this. I'm just trying to set the context so that everybody is together.
Planning Japanese examples are so well. Japanese will take 6 months to plan.
Precisely.
While you will plan in 1 month and you say, why are they taking it? But then you will take 2 years to execute, which they will execute in 6 months.
Exactly. So even in a
micro planning.
Yeah, even in a defense organization,
exactly.
They spend 40 minutes, 50 minutes on planning, 10 minutes execution, because execution happens just like that, right? So I think those are the keys. What is happening typically in a country like us, where attrition rates are very high, business is dynamic. We see not a very structured, disciplined process. But if you look at successful companies, I think they do these three things very, very well. They have very clearly defined purpose, communicated across the organization. Everybody within the organization knows that why do they really exist. Invest time in robust planning, as you absolutely rightly said, invest right amount of time in planning, and then execute flawlessly, right? And then I'm going to talk about, this organization. It's a story of Emerson. How do they? This graph I have picked up from Good to Great book, and if you really look at it, what it says is, at some point of time, great companies, they just take off. It's a breakthrough that they achieve, right? And you will see most of these companies, like Emerson, doing this. So, this story about Emerson, why, again, in terms of context, why Emerson is great, or why we consider it as, I personally consider it as great. Besides, having employed with the company, but I do personally believe. This is a graph, this is a real graph of Emerson's dividend paid over last 54 years.